It is exactly 10 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. The Investment Authority conned of millions in illegal land purchase in Karamoja. The police cautions border raiders against fueling mob justice. Also in the world, Hong Kong airport cancels flights as thousands occupy terminal. And in sports, junior players show improvement in chess league. Hello there and welcome once again on Sign Language. It is Mugalu Mohammed and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. Now, the Prime Minister, Dr. Rakana Rugunda, said the Diocese of Kigezi must ensure the region is spiritually revived since Kigezi is the center of the East African Revival Movement. Now, Dr. Rugunda was speaking at the launch of the Diocese of Kigezi Kampala chapter at All Saints Cathedral in Nakasero here in Kampala. Let's get more in this report.
The Prime Minister, Dr. Rakana Rugunda, has officiated at the launch of the Diocese of Kigezi Kampala chapter, a fellowship which aims to ensure mobilization and promotion of fellowship, communion, togetherness, and oneness among Christians, families, sons and daughters hailing from the Diocese of Kigezi and resident in Greater Kampala and beyond. The Prime Minister thanked the Church for partnering with the state to enhance development in Kigezi region. He said there is need for the citizens to engage in Operation Wealth creation activities as well as increase agricultural production to boost incomes and eradicate poverty.
What we are appealing for now is to ensure that the church and the state, and by the way, other progressive, productive organizations work together for one common cause to ensure that people's incomes, people's wealth, people's pockets are filled. And with this rate of one sack producing 10 sacks within a few months, I can see us overcoming the problem of poverty fairly soon using Emondi as the group to liberate us. And wealth creation is consistent with government.
The Premier pledged government support to the Diocese of Kigezi Kampala chapter and urged the archdeacons to work with the state in promoting unity among the people and programs that will generate incomes for the people. The Minister of State for Finance and Planning, Honorable David Bahati, tasked the Banyachigezi to keep preaching the gospel and loving one another as a basis for promoting oneness and togetherness. He said the church, in partnership with government, has been crucial in enhancing development through eradicating poverty.
As we speak now, on average, Kigezi, out of the households we have, 75% of the households in Kigezi live in a subsistence economy. So that is really the challenge of our generation. That is what we want the church to help us as a state to make sure that we lift those people, the 75 households in the region, to join the money economy.
The Bishop for Kigezi Diocese, Right Reverend George Bagamhunda, who was the chief celebrant, asked the congregants to love one another and put their trust in the Lord.
God's presence sets us apart. Obuweereza bwaitu nibwo bw'omutaano. Rukundo yaitu ebe y'omutaano habwokuba tuli abamukama. Ati kumuligumana mukundana nibwe balimanya kumulya beezi bati. Ekyatuleeta aha elizoa nkawanya kigeze na banywani baitu ni rukundo tyali ekyenda.
Awards were given out for outstanding service to different members of the Church of Uganda, Chigezi Diocese. The function was also attended by the clergy, members of parliament who hailed from the Chigezi region, government officials, among others. Doreen Nasasra reporting for UBC News.
Thanks, Doreen, for that report there. Nell, now let's go to our main story, and that's about the International Youth Day, where President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has affirmed a government commitment towards supporting the youth. Now, this was contained in a message read for him by the Vice President Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi during celebrations to mark the International Youth Day that were held in Kagoma, Jinja district. Our reporter Henry Okrut just returned from Jinja and brought us this report.
It started with a march past by youthful police and prisons officers as they showcased their commitment to national service. They were here to join their civilian counterparts to celebrate International Youth Day. Emphasis was on education, as heard in this poem by Nawire Gertrude Lomilo, the head prefect Wanyange Girls Secondary School.
If we embrace education, if we accept it to change the appearance of our country, then the brain will fly so high to higher horizons. Uganda, you shall shine.
Nawire Gertrude wants government to prioritize education, not just for employment, but development purposes.
We see a lot of youths, roaming, waffling on the streets, lack of jobs and all that. We've seen Rastafarians, people who really have value, but they devalue themselves. So I came up with this poem to remind Ugandans that education is the only ladder to stardom. If we embrace education, and then we shall come from being a developing country to becoming a developed country.
Her concern is partly in agreement with that of State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, who wants an adjustment in the education system.
We are going closer to them and making sure that we categorize them into their own jobs that they are aligned to, and encouraging them to go into the cash economy and money market, and to encourage them further to go there but using skills, hand skills, than as opposed to having a heap of certificates to move all over the corridors to look for jobs.
The Vice President Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi, who represented President Yoweri Museveni, affirmed government commitment towards supporting youth.
In Operation Youth Wealth Creation, Youth Livelihood Fund, Youth Venture Capital Fund, Uganda Women Enterprise Program, and Scaling the Girl Child Initiative. On the ideological front, we are going to speed up the establishment of a national service scheme that will contribute to molding the character and ideological orientation of the young people in Uganda.
Transforming education for responsible citizenship and employment creation was the theme for 2019 International Youth Day celebrations.
The scheme is therefore a step into the right direction. It calls upon all of us to prioritize an education system that can nurture and mold citizens that are productive, visionary, and responsible for the social, economic, and political transformation of their communities.
The day was declared by the United Nations about 20 years ago. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that report. And of course, the main message there about youth education so that we can ensure a brighter Uganda. Now, Uganda Investment Authority has been cited in the fraudulent purchase of over 400 acres of land in Kautoko Parish, Bokora County in Karamoja that was marked for an industrial park. Appearing before the commission, Faith Nakut said the authority fraudulently bought the land from Amadoi Peter, who did not have powers to carry out transactions. Here is our reporter, Sudat K.
The matter before this Commission of Inquiry.
The Commission of Inquiry into Land has listened to testimony on the illegal sale of land in Kautako Parish, Bokora County in Karamoja to Uganda Investment Authority. Faith Nakuti, representing Bokora County, told the Commission that the contested land was communally owned and was occupied by a clan, but due to a conflict between the Madheniko and Bokora, they were forced to leave for safety.
So there has been no history of our people going away for good from time immemorial.
So this time when you came back, what did you find?
This time when we came back, we found mark stones.
The Commission discovered that the land that was sold to Uganda Investment Authority was in Nanduget, not Kautako, and elders were paid 45 million.
Do you think that there was land available in Nanduget of the same size that they could have sold?
I don't think there was. It's because actually the elders of Nanduget now does not exist because they've sold off everything.
Uganda Investment Authority seems to have been conned because the sellers used a different area land committee without letters from the district land board.
I wrote to the Uganda Investment Authority a mail. I wrote a mail which later, when I visited their office, they confirmed it had been received.
Why did you write to them?
To complain, because that's the time when they had put pillars. I was complaining about the pillars, that why are you putting up pillars? They chased me out of their office.
The illegal sale of Karamoja land has been attributed to the break in the traditional system, and it was disclosed how land in Karamoja is at risk of being sold.
For you to get audience of the elders, you will have to buy them a bull, you pierce it for them, and they roast it. And you'll find a full bull for a few elders, maybe 10 or so. So that excitement of that meat makes these elders forget.
But they have a lot of cows. Why would they be excited about meat? Maybe.
It is in our blood. We just enjoy meat. That's where the problem is. So when you serve the local brew that makes people run high, and there is meat, I'm telling you, they will thumbprint anything. And that is the risk Karamoja faces.
The Commission heard that an order was issued by Napak RDC to shoot anyone sighted on the land. Nakut said the over 2,000 people who are now displaced are occupying neighboring villages, with some occupying Uganda wildlife land.
There was an RDC in Napak. It was called Naman Ojwe. He made a statement that the military should shoot on sight anybody they see on that particular land.
The inquiry was informed that they took advantage of the disarmament process to illegally sell off their land.
I think disarmament also made it easier for anybody to now access whatever they needed, including the land.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News in Kampala.
And land issues continue to be presented to the Bamgemerere Commission. Now, officials from the Foreign Affairs Ministry have failed to give an account on why the ministry irregularly procured air tickets and later cancelled them on short notice occasionally. Officials also failed to convince the committee as to why its total expenditure is higher than the budget. Now, they were appearing before the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee to respond to the 2017 financial year audit queries. Susan Naonga reports.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs has failed to explain how the 293 million shillings was spent on clearing domestic arrears, but was indicated in the cash flow statement. Appearing before the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee were officials from Foreign Affairs led by the Permanent Secretary Ambassador Patrick Mugoya, who labored to answer queries raised in the 2016-17 Auditor General's report.
How much money was approved? And how much money was finally given to you in that financial year, and how you managed to spend that money.
Did you get an authorization that you had this outstanding and you need to expense it
we reported it.
Can we have a documented evidence?
Sure. We had accrued expenditures that we had to incorporate within our accounts.
Officials failed to account for shillings 500 million balance on the 10 billion meant for commitment to the international organizations.
When you call them warrants, they were given 10 billion, but when they were expending money, they spent 9.5. Where is the 500 million? Because according to your need is 20. What you are given was 10. But even the 10, you didn't spend it all.
Incorporate within our accounts. Those are contributions to international organizations. We couldn't leave them outside our accounts.
You received 10 billion for international organizations, yes or no?
What was in the budget was 11 billion 047 455 418,000.
As what?
As approved in the budget.
That's the one appropriated, yeah?
Appropriated.
For international?
Yes.
Apart from spending above the budget, the committee learned that the minister made irregular procurement of air tickets and their cancellation on short notice. The Auditor General's report indicates that some funds were transferred to personal accounts. The sitting was adjourned to Friday and officials tasked to present all necessary supporting documents in the next sitting. Susan Naonga reporting.
Now to the courts of law, where lawyer Male Mabirizi has applied for a permanent injunction seeking court to restrain the Electoral Commission chairperson, Justice Simon Byabakama, from holding the position of chairperson electoral body. Now he urges that Justice Byabakama has never relinquished his position as a member of Court of Appeal panel.
Office is vacant and then another person to be appointed to that office.
Male Mabirizi says for Justice Simon Byabakama, holding two public offices flouts Article 60, Clause 5 of the Constitution. It has been a while since Justice Simon Byabakama was appointed the Chairman Electoral Commission, but still served as Justice of Court of Appeal. Lawyer Male Mabirizi sees it as an anomaly and has filed a civil case against the Chairman Electoral Commission.
That article requires that once a public officer is appointed to an office as a member of the Electoral Commission, he must relinquish his position. Byabakama has not done so. He's holding out as the Justice of Appeal, as even when you see him signing documents, he signs as Justice of Appeal. And when you look at when you go to judiciary's documents and the website, they continue to have him as a justice on assignment. So they purport that being a chairman of the Electoral Commission, that's an assignment. So I'm saying that is illegal. The question is clear.
Male says there will be no justice in cases concerning elections or electoral petitions, since Justice Simon Byabakama is serving two public offices, being a Justice of Court of Appeal and Chairman Electoral Commission.
He appear because this time he's a judge of Court of Appeal, his boss. So that is a confusion which I want court to declare that actually that's not possible. That office is vacant and then another person will be appointed to that office unless Byabakama resigns.
In filing this case, Male Mabirizi wants court to declare the post of Chairman Electoral Commission vacant. Mabirizi says he will still file other cases on government officials who abuse the Constitution. Report compiled by Namamonde Deborah for UBC News.
Thanks, Namamonde, for that story there. And we'll stay in the courts of law momentarily and go to Buganda Road, where Buganda Road Court Magistrate Joanna Cha has granted last adjournment to the state to present witnesses in the case involving Chadondo East Member of Parliament Robert Chagulanyi. Now, Chagulanyi and 4 others are accused of unlawful assembly. The main presiding magistrate, Stella Amabiris, did not appear in court, resulting into adjournment, as we hear in this story.
At around 8:30 a.m., Robert Chagulanyi Sentamo, Chadondo East Member of Parliament, and the other 4 accused persons were at Buganda Road Court for a case of unlawful assembly. The case was presided over by Magistrate Joanne Archer, who represented the main presiding magistrate, Stella Amaberis. Chomgisha Barbara, who led the state prosecution, informed the court that some inquiries are still ongoing in the said matter and requested court for other time, which was objected by the defense counsel.
I pray that the prosecution be directed to produce all their witnesses and the case be heard and disposed of by the Supreme Court.
The presiding magistrate, Joan Archer, later granted state last adjournment until 17th August 2019 to produce witnesses.
So make sure all the accused persons attend, and we are giving state the second last adjournment.
Defense counsel Shamim Malende said for court to grant an adjournment to prosecution is to deny the accused persons their constitutional rights.
Well, if state has evidence, it should have presented it by now. It's over here, and every time it is them that keep praying for adjournment.
The accused persons are willing to subject themselves to the process of the law, and that's why they have been complying and attending court whenever they have been ordered to do so. And today is just one example. It is in fact the state that has not been ready to carry on with the trial.
Or else we shall pray for last adjournment and this matter will be dismissed.
Including Chadondo East Member of Parliament Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, Fred Sentamu, Katongole Julius, Sebufu Edward, A.K. Eddie Mutwe, and David Rule and others still at large. It's alleged that Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, a Member of Parliament Chadondo East, and 4 others, and others still at large. At the end of last year, 2018, in Kampala, they unlawfully conducted the unlawful assembly, protesting a tax of 1.5%, which was imposed on mobile money and social media. Gloria Gwitabinji compiled the story for UBC.
That report there, and we'll now take a short break, but we'll return with what's happening in the world of business. Stay with us.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Sir Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
Ekyama kya Busoga kikino nga ni Kagulu Rock nkola olusozi olw'Ekagulu mu igombolola ly'Ekagulu mu disitulikiti ey'Ebuyende. Ida tuninira olusozi olw'Ekagulu ni President wa Uganda Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ng'akyaziibwa Isaife ky'abazinga wa Busoga William Wilberforce Kadumbula Gabula Nalyopo Owookuna ne Speaker wa Parliament Mama Rebecca Itwala Kadaga era ng'empiya bukalina obuteereyi bwawo obw'okuwangulibwa abonabona nga banina olusozi luno baalutuuka ku ntwiko oyita kuba ng'osobola okubona Busoga okuva yava okutuuka yakanga olengera ebibira olengera ensozi edindi agayanda n'omwiga kiiro okusinga obuwanvu munsi yonayona Kagulu nkola olusozi lwa byafaayo ng'omusoga eyasooka yava ebunolo wano niwe yatuukira oyitaabo n'empukumu yasulanga niwe yalimiranga enimiro de nga bino byonna bya bwereere abantu okuva ebule n'ebweya bali kwekonda okuyida okubaawo okunina olusozi luno weenaba omu kwabo.
Bino byonna byakubaawo olwamu kagangena ku omwezi 17 omwezi ogw'omunaana omwaka 2019.
empaka edda okunina olusozi Kagulu dikutuusibwaku minisitule y'ebyobulambuzi n'ebyeyira mu bwakibazinga bwa Busoga kyateebwamu empiiya.
President w'eggwanga Uganda Tourism Board, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Sanctuary Hotels Kamuli, UBC TV, Madvan Group of Companies, Big Fair, awalala
Hillwater, purity, nothing less.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
On the 26th of June 2019, the Parliament of Uganda passed the Landlord and Tenant Bill 2018 to regulate the relationship between a tenant and a landlord. While the nation awaits for His Excellency the President of Uganda to assent to the bill, there has been several debates on this bill, which is yet to become law. This August the 15th, 2019 at 8:30 to 10 p.m., UBC brings you the different stakeholders under one roof to discuss and break down this bill for our understanding. The stakeholders include Parliament of Uganda, Kampala Capital City Authority, Uganda Revenue Authority, National Planning Authority, NSSF, Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, National Housing and Construction Corporation, Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, and legal and real estate experts. The Landlord and Tenant Bill debate, powered by UBC.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV, and a warm welcome to those of you just joining us. And it's time now for us to have a look at what's happening in the world of business. We begin in Sembabule, where authorities in Sembabule district have imposed a quarantine following an outbreak of foot and mouth disease in the district. And also in Kisoro district, a body of an unidentified man has been found dumped along the road.
All the farmers and cattle dealers have been cautioned against moving cows to other areas to graze all markets. Sembabule District Production Officer Emmanuel Kawoya says there is an outbreak of foot and mouth disease with infected cows in farms of two dairy farmers. Veterinary doctors have been deployed to do surveillance in the sub-county of Mitima and neighboring areas. Dairy farmers complain over transfer of cows from Tanzania, which has escalated the foot and mouth disease spread. Meanwhile, from Kisoro district, residents of Mwaro village in Karambi parish in Nyarubuye sub-county have found an unidentified body of a man in early 30s. The body was wrapped in a sack, dumped on the road. The village defense, Godfrey Insimie, told UBC that the body was discovered during a routine patrol of the area.
Ngenda kwa chairman ndi kumumenyesha ngo tizinomo none mba injinje patrolling muno naje kusanganza ikintu kiraryamye mu rugo muhari.
The OCCID Herbert Mujenyi confirmed the murder.
Taking the body to Kisoro Hospital mortuary for more inquiries. The doctor to have the body.
Very sad news there, and especially that news coming in from Kisoro of that dead man whose body was found dumped by the roadside, but also that it follows death or murder of a prominent lawyer in the district. And we do hope that the police will do all it can to ensure that the killers of those people are brought to book. To Mombasa now, where the third Trade and Business Symposium has kicked off in Mombasa, Kenya. Now, the symposium on the theme Enhancing Trade Facilitation along the Northern Corridor seeks to ease trade flow and explore prevailing opportunities that can be consolidated to improve trade. Our reporter Dennis Sigoa is currently camped in Mombasa and sent us this report.
Commercial diplomacy is what government of Uganda has been advocating for, and that is what is currently taking place in Mombasa, Kenya. Organized by the Consulate of the Republic of Uganda in Mombasa, a 3-day trade and business symposium is focusing on enhancing trade facilitation along the Northern Corridor.
And Mombasa, we all know that it's the main gateway for East Africa, and Uganda's share of imports and exports amount about 82% of all transit cargo through this port.
Graced by Amelia Chambade, the Trade and Industry Minister, and attended by public and private stakeholders engaged in trade along the Northern and Central Corridor, the meet comes at a time of increased trade between Kenya and Uganda. In fact, in the last financial year, Uganda managed to change the status quo in trade with Kenya by exporting more than what it imported.
When you talk about trade, our trade relations with Kenya, Uganda and Kenya, have increased to $1.5 billion as exports from Uganda to Kenya, and it is now 77.4 billion from Kenya to Uganda. Of course, there is also tourism, which is booming in Kenya, and we feel that we should talk about trade and services as well, on how we can improve on tourism in Uganda. I know sometimes we focus on commodities, but we should also think about trading services.
Despite these trade gains and the two governments' commitment to curb non-tariff barriers on the Northern Corridor, the problem still persists, says Kiama Kilonzo, the Kenyan High Commissioner to Uganda. Kilonzo called for action against the challenges which continue to hinder the seamless movement of goods and services on the corridor.
Recently, we had a state visit of President Museveni when he visited Kenya, and a lot of these issues were sorted out. But talking out of the script, I must say, they are sorted out on paper, but officers on the ground still continue frustrating business people from both countries.
In Uganda, logistics inefficiencies in import and export of goods are estimated to cost Uganda shillings 3.1 trillion each year, and logistics account for 18 to 20% of the price of goods sold in the country. The third Trade and Business Symposium ongoing in Mombasa, Kenya, is aimed at creating synergies as well as bringing together Kenya and Uganda in tackling the issue of non-tariff barriers. Uganda, a landlocked country, is the second biggest user of the port of Mombasa after Kenya. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Mombasa, Kenya.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
Sports news now, and of course proudly brought to you by 1xBet, and we begin with chess, where the 2019 National Chess League has witnessed its 4th and 5th round with action at Nob View Hotel in Ntinda. Our sports reporter John Sentamo gives us more of the action.
It may be early days, but all signs are that 2019 will provide enough thrills and spills in the National Chess League. The league that has attracted a record 42 clubs has witnessed its 5th round, with tight competition that confirms overall players' improvement.
The level has increased because the kids that are being trained have reached a certain level that they can upset the seniors, especially in the ladies section. Even currently, our ladies losing to junior. So yeah, the kids have actually really improved. And then the number of teams have improved. So there are many more stronger teams. Last season there were 3 teams that could win the league, potential winners. This season they're about 5 or 6.
In some of the games played, Aviation Chess Club and Mulago ended in a draw. Kireka Panthers beat Dimak 3-2. Som Katwe walloped Chess Dynasty 3.5 to 1.5, while Makerere University won the derby against Busitema 3-2. As it stands, Kireka Panthers lead the way on 15 points, while reigning champions Kireka A is second with 13. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Now, once every year, sports scribes under their umbrella body, Uganda Sports Press Association, embark on a road campaign. Now, this they do in memory of all people that have been victim to road accidents, but notably their executive members that perished in 2001 at Lugazi. We have more on that in this report.
With carnage on the road continuing to wreak havoc in Uganda and beyond, Uganda Sports Press Association has intensified its road safety campaign. Though they've been at it for the past 18 years, the 2019 edition promises to be better.
Maybe many would expect us to concentrate on issues concerning sports journalists, rights of journalists, welfare and everything, but we care for the communities that we come from and also the communities that we serve. It's an important activity that helps us to reach out to the communities, and that's why the beneficiaries along the way, way beyond sports journalists or the scope of sport. So it's an important activity on our calendar, and we thank very much Standard Chartered Bank for being with us.
It will involve several activities including a memorial service, facelift at Mulago Hospital's casualty ward, and a road safety campaign that includes educating the public in Lugazi on 24th August.
And avoid stealing of these road signs. National Road Authority and KCA have put up these signposts. Again, they are stolen. And these are things which help to warn road users on how to use the roads. We need to help each other so that such things don't happen and we don't lose or are not impacted by such losses. As a community, we need to police each other. It's not the police that polices. We are the police. We police each other.
This road safety campaign idea was mooted by Uganda Sports Press Association following the death of its top executive members at Lugazi in 2001. John Barnes, Sendam, reporting.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
To the hour of 11 here in the studios of UBC TV. We've almost come to the end of this bulletin. But before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. The authority conned of millions in illegal land purchase in Karamoja. Police cautions border raiders against fueling mob justice. Elsewhere in the world, Hong Kong airport cancels flights as thousands occupy terminal. And in sports, junior players show improvement in Chase League. Thank you so much for having kept us company on Sign Language. It has been Mugalu Mohammed, and I am Edward Rukidi Kijana Ngoma. I'll see you tomorrow and have a blessed night.